The rescue team found a tent. The inside was still warm. The sun beat down on the jungle, turning the thick canopy into a simmering sauna. Sweat trickled down the necks of the elite rescue team as they hacked their way through the undergrowth. Their mission: find the missing explorer and bring him back. But days into the search, their hope was starting to wither away like a forgotten campfire. Then, through the wall of green, the first thing they noticed was the silence. Not the calm kind after a storm or the peace that comes from within, but the unnatural, suffocating kind that makes your skin prickle with unease. The jungle should have been buzzing with life, with insects humming, birds crying, and leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. But as the rescue team stepped into the small clearing, even the wind seemed to hold its breath. In the center, almost camouflaged against the rich tapestry of green, stood a tent, faded orange against the emerald backdrop. One corner had collapsed, revealing a shadowy gap. There was no sign of a struggle, no footprints in the soft earth around it, no gear lying about. Just the tent sitting quietly, watching. Captain Reyes, a man whose calm demeanor was as legendary as his survival skills, raised a fist, signaling the others to stop. He crouched near the entrance and slowly unzipped the tent. The interior was cramped, barely big enough for a single person, and what they found inside made everyone freeze. A metal cup, half filled with warm coffee, a book lying open, and a sleeping bag that looked like someone had just climbed out of it minutes ago. The silence in the clearing was deafening. Time seemed to thicken, the air growing colder by the second. None of them spoke, each grappling with the same horrifying thought. But where was he? Had he been here? And if so, when did he leave? And more importantly, why? The jungle didn't offer many answers. As the hours turned into days, the team scanned the area with thermal drones, sent out scouts, and even used scent dogs, but nothing turned up. No blood, no signs of a struggle, no indication of what might have happened here. It was as if whoever had been there had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the faint scent of wood smoke and a lingering chill. Reyes kept going back to that cup. The steam rising from it was a tangible reminder that they weren't dealing with a ghost. This place had been occupied recently, too recently. He picked it up again. It was warm, not just recently warm, but freshly held. Someone had been here, watching, running, hiding. Lara, the team's medic, found something else beside the sleeping bag. A piece of paper folded neatly inside a waterproof pouch. With trembling hands, she unfolded it, revealing a message scrawled in hurried handwriting. The note read, "If you're reading this, you're already too late. It doesn't stay in one shape. It's listening. It always finds you." She looked up at the others, her eyes wide with a dawning realization. "It doesn't stay in one shape," she whispered, her voice echoing in the vast emptiness of the clearing. "What does that mean?" Just then, a crashing sound echoed from the tree line. Weapons were drawn. Radios crackled with urgent whispers as every sense heightened, searching for the source of the noise. It was fast, too fast to be a wild animal. Seen from the corner of an eye, a dark shape shifting between the trees. Just a glimpse, but enough to send shivers down their spines. Then the flashlight flickered on and off again. Reyes stared at it, dumbfounded. It was the one they'd seen inside the tent. Now it was lying on the ground outside, swinging gently in the breeze. The batteries must have died. But this time, it had flickered. Maybe just a trick of the light, but in that moment, none of them wanted to test their luck. As if summoned by their thoughts, the flashlight flickered once more, then died. Silence descended, heavier now, suffocating. Then a shout broke the quiet. "There's another tent, but it wasn't there a second ago." Adrenaline surged through their veins as they raced towards the sound, weapons raised. The clearing was smaller, the tents more nondescript, blending into the canvas of green. But the lack of footprints in the soft soil was the most telling sign. These tents had been set up recently. Too recently. Reyes felt a chill crawl up his spine. It was a trap, a carefully constructed lure, and they had just walked right into it. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at their senses. They were now trapped in a silent, unseen predator's game. Who had set this up and why? And most pressingly, how could they escape this invisible hunter's grasp? The questions swirled in their heads, unanswered, echoing the unsettling rustle of leaves in the wind. The jungle, once a sanctuary of life and growth, had transformed into a menacing labyrinth of death and deception. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows, the team huddled together, their faces grim, their eyes reflecting the dancing flames of their campfire. The warmth of the fire did little to dispel the creeping chill that had settled over them. Each rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sent shivers down their spines. They were being watched, hunted. Suddenly, a guttural growl ripped through the stillness of the night. It was a sound that sent primal fear coursing through their veins, a sound that spoke of raw, untamed power lurking just beyond the reach of their firelight. The growl echoed, reverberated, and then fell silent, leaving them in a suffocating quiet that was worse than the sounds of the jungle. Each member of the team was a skilled outdoorsman, a seasoned professional. Yet even they couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had taken root in their hearts. The jungle, once a familiar playground, had become a sinister adversary, its beauty a mere facade for its deadly intent. Reyes, his face etched with concern, looked at his team, their faces pale, their eyes wide with a mixture of fear and determination. He knew they had a choice: succumb to the fear that threatened to engulf them or stand their ground, united against the unknown. He spoke in a low, steady voice, his words cutting through the tension like a lifeline. "We stick together. We don't run. We fight." His voice resonated with quiet strength, a beacon in the gathering darkness. As the night wore on, the team fortified their camp, creating a fragile barrier between themselves and the lurking danger. Each of them was armed, their weapons held tight, ready to ward off whatever might come. Sleep, if it came at all, was fitful, haunted by nightmares of unseen predators and whispered warnings carried on the wind. With the first hint of dawn, they were on alert, their senses razor-sharp, listening for any sound, watching for any movement. The forest remained ominously silent, the predator hidden, biding its time. Hours crawled by. The sun rose higher, casting a tentative light into the dense foliage. Still, there was no sign of the creature they hunted. Had it slipped past them? Were they truly alone in this deadly game? As the day wore on, the silence became a torment, a constant reminder of the unseen presence that stalked them. The jungle, once a place of solace, had transformed into a prison of fear. Then, as if on cue, a twig snapped, sending a flock of birds into the air. For a moment, the world was filled with the frantic flapping of wings and the panicked chirping. But as quickly as it started, it ended. The birds took to the sky, their cries echoing the turmoil in their human hunters' hearts. Reyes felt a surge of adrenaline. In the sudden burst of motion, he saw it, a fleeting glimpse of something darting between the trees, a flash of dark fur, and the glint of sharp eyes. He lunged, his spear finding its mark, sending the creature sprawling. For a moment, it lay still. Then it moved, scrambling to its feet, snarling, baring its teeth. It lunged, its claws extended, raking down across Reyes's arm. He cried out, not in pain, but in surprise. The creature recoiled, giving him a chance to see it properly. It was a wildcat, larger than any he'd seen, with thick, coarse fur and eyes that burned with a primal fire. Its fur was matted, its body lean and muscled, its gaze fixed on him with a mixture of aggression and hunger. Reyes, adrenaline pumping through his veins, stood firm. This wasn't the elusive creature they had tracked for days, but it was real, a living, breathing threat that had invaded their space. As the wildcat circled, sizing up its prey, Reyes prepared to defend himself. This was no longer a search and rescue mission. This was a battle for survival. And as the sun beat down on the jungle, the clearing became a battleground, the trees silent witnesses to the fight for survival. The team never found the explorer, nor did they solve the mystery of the cryptic notes and the phantom flashlight. What they discovered was a chilling testament to the raw, untamed power of nature, a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that exist just beyond our sight. They emerged from the jungle shaken, forever marked by their encounter. The ordeal had tested their courage, their resilience. They had stared into the abyss of the unknown and survived. The question was, what would they do when the jungle called again? Would they heed the warning, or would they venture back into the emerald embrace, seeking answers to the cryptic call of the wild? Now it's your turn. What would you do if the only clue left behind was a cup of warm coffee and a warning that came too late? Let me know in the comments. And for more terrifying true encounters and jungle mysteries, subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. See you soon.